I'll just start from the beginning. I grew up in a church. I have all great memories growing up in the church, and I was very involved in the youth group. My sophomore year of high school, I got into some trouble, and it was not well received at church. It wasn't a no perfect people allowed mentality. It was a like only perfect people allowed mentality, and because of the way that it went down and the way that things were handled, I made that decision to leave the church. My parents continued going, and I started going to another church, and I did that through high school. And then in my 20s, my roommate and I would church shop, but never, nothing ever really stuck. And so in my mid to late 20s, I was pretty much just a miserable, drunk. I would work all day and just come home and drink all night. Pretty much every single night to varying amounts, usually drunk, lots of blackouts. So January of 2007, I was out celebrating my older brother's birthday and decided to drive back home to Kent in a snowstorm and got my first DUI. 3 months later, in April of 2007, I got my second DUI while still driving privileges from my first. I got smashed after work and drove home. So for my sentencing, I spent 21 days at Glenwood. It is a rehab / jail through Oriana House in Akron. I didn't go to AA at all. It was a term of my probation. My sister-in-law and I forged all the AA meetings because I hated them. I remember the first one that I went to, and I just hated them. I really honestly think I did not want to be labeled as an alcoholic. I'm fine. Everything's normal. And after that, I was sober for a really long time. And so in 2012, I was a pretty miserable person again, drinking all the time. That's when I met Sophia's father, and I became Sophia's mother. I don't know. And a couple years in to the grind of being a single mother, home all day, every day, and working all night, every night, I just got really complacent and really unhappy. And I started drinking a lot again. So I was driving home from Westlake from work one night, and I got my third DUI. At this point, 2017. So I'd been at Momentum since the launch, which I think was 2014. And at this point, I am in leadership roles, and I am leading a Mo group, and I'm an active participant in my faith and in my church, but still kind of hiding that whole other side. It definitely felt a lot of times that I was two different people. I just felt there was no way that I wasn't gonna let everybody down. So the first people at Momentum that I told was my group. I told Cannonball pretty immediately after it happened, because at that point I wasn't sure of anything, what was going to happen. I did basically a month in jail after my second, and so we just didn't know what was going to happen. Cannonball was really great and just kind of accepted me with open arms, and I think appreciated my honesty and my openness about it, which is part of the reason why they were able to accept me. After my third DUI, I was afraid. I was afraid my parents would take Sophia away from me. I was afraid that I didn't deserve to be Sophia's mother. That just a lot of self-doubt and self-loathing and stuff like that. I still battle with my self-forgiveness on all of it. I would never, obviously, ever want to lose Sophia, and, I would never want to lose Momentum, and I think that that's, why I was able to be so honest with you guys about it, and, open, and, work through the really tough stuff. And when we were coming down to the end of everything, my mom said to me, what's different this time? What changes? What makes this stick so that 7 years later, we're not back in the same place? I think for me, quite honestly, Momentum was the difference. The acceptance and the love and the support is what made me more eager to change and figure it out and be a different kind of person. And something that I lacked really hard as a teenager when I screwed up. And I just knew that I don't think that like sometimes you always realize things as they're happening until like something is said. And we were sitting in the community meeting where you were talking about like the disciple factory and like momentum as a church, like what we would want to see from somebody who like comes to momentum like unchurched or non-church. Like after 5 years at momentum, what do you want to see out of those people? And like that's kind of like this aha moment for me of momentum giving that to me and like creating a disciple out of like just like a broken like drunken mess of a person, so that I can like go out and make more disciples and help other people and support other people the way that like momentum has for me. I think going through the process that the results are drastically different because of my relationship with God and my relationship with my church family, and the fact that it can come up in Cannonball. Like, I don't have to pretend that it didn't happen or that it's not a huge part of like who I am and like what I've been through. And that like it really can be hopefully like a story that helps other people, something that people can like relate to and feel comfortable with their own stuff, I guess, you know. If it wasn't for Cannonball and me being able to like be so open and honest with them like from the very very beginning, I probably would have like tried a lot harder for a lot longer to not let anybody at momentum know, if that makes sense. I think that says a lot about being in a mo group and like having that family and that like tribe to support you and like rally around you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go to work though, so that was really difficult. Let me know if you need anything else. Thanks. Bye.